Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a video on Trevor's gun right here. Now, as you can see, this is kind of different than the last time you saw his gun when I DSG'd it, because last time it had this gearbox in it, which is very much so broken. Now, the gearbox that he has in it now is a retro arm CNC gearbox, which is one of the strongest airsoft gearboxes ever made, I'm pretty sure. This is the recommended gearbox for everything. It's just super good, long lasting, CNC, super light. To put in perspective how light it is, this side of the gearbox, just one side of it, is heavier than this entire gearbox by itself. Now, this whole gearbox, the old one, is probably the weight of the entire gearbox now with all of the parts in it. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I doing a video on Trevor's gun, telling you that it's put back together? Well, I wanted to tell you guys it was put back together, because I got some comments saying, oh, that's broken, you need to fix that. Yeah, I know, I fixed it, and it's fixed right. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys is what to do when you have an air seal issue. Because his gun has an air seal issue. Now, I'm going to be using a Titan 3000 mAh 11.1 volt battery. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this in. And I want you guys to listen to what it sounds like, and then I'll give you guys a diagnosis of what the issue is. Okay, so that sound means that the battery is plugged in and the Aster is powered up. So we turn it to semi-auto and just listen. Now, if some of you are tech people, you might be able to tell what's going on here. Well, what's going on here is there is a bigger spring in here because it's a DSG and you want to get that FPS. But if you listen closely, it's super loud, and when I shoot it, it vibrates a ton. Now, what that is I actually tested this before I put the gun back together, and I tested it, and it didn't work out the right way, as in there was no air seal at all. Now, what that means is the piston head is not aligning properly with the cylinder, and it's not getting an air seal. So what that means is when the piston pulls back, it is getting ready to fire. When the piston gets let go, it gets shot forwards from about right here, I think, to the end, and that is what gives you the air that comes out of here, which blows the BB through the barrel and gives you your FPS, and that's how your gun shoots. But in this case, it's doing that same thing, but all the air, instead of going out the front of the nozzle, is when the piston is going forwards, the air is coming back and out the back of this. So I'm going to give you guys a chrono test to show you guys how much FPS this actually has right now with this air seal issue, and I'll show you guys how you fix that. Okay, so I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to hear me because it is super windy outside, but I am using 0.25 gram BBs with my 3000 milliamp 11.1 LiPo, and we're going to go ahead and shoot it, and I will show you guys the issue. Just line it up. It only has 100 FPS, and if we go through, it chronos at about 185 and 94, and it's just going through and changing how much of an FPS there is, and it's actually very terrible. Alright, so after seeing that, you can tell there's quite an issue going on there because it has a very terribly low FPS. And when I chronoed it earlier before I filmed this video, I only got about 50 FPS out of it. And for an airsofter, that is very terrible, especially for a DSG. AEG, because you're wanting the range with the RPS and the FPS, and you kind of have to have good air seal with that. Now, the parts you need are these parts right here, and it's $40 for all three of these parts, and they give you some perfect compression And if you want to go even further, you can go ahead and get a cylinder. I prefer this one because it's ported, and ported cylinders just make it a lot easier on a DSG in my standpoint, and that's what I would do. I have a ported cylinder on mine, but I only have a single port. And so those are the parts that you need to get to fix this issue because, like I said earlier, it's the piston head. You could say it like this: if you didn't want to spend the $40 to fix this compression and you just went ahead and bought the piston head. Yes, that would fix your issue, but it's like putting a band-aid on it instead of going to the doctor and completely fixing it. So that is how you can fix this gun. I don't have the stuff to do it yet. It is on its way, and this gun will be completely fixed. There will be a link in the description to all of these parts that are in this gun, in this gearbox, that includes this gearbox. So if you want to build a gearbox like this, you can go ahead and check out that link in the description and check out those parts for this gearbox. And they are basically the exact same parts that I have in my gearbox. It's just the motor is different and the spring is different between these two. So that is all I have for you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.